Hong Kong's chief executive says he's disappointed by the rejection of the electoral reform plan. Beijing is also voicing its displeasure. CCTV's Zhu Dan has been following the story and brings us the latest.
The promise was of a step forward if the electoral reform was passed, but it was not to be. 28 of 70 lawmakers in the Legislative Council voted against it. Only 8 voted for it. Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying couldn't hide his disappointment.
Today, 28 electoral members voted against the wishes of the majority of the Hong Kong people and denying them the democratic right to elect the chief executive in the next election. Universal suffrage for the chief executive election has now been blocked. Universal suffrage to elect all members of LegCo has also become uncertain. I, the government, and millions of Hong Kong people are naturally disappointed.
The Hong Kong government has maintained that the public nominating its own candidates is against the Basic Law. Under the reform plan proposed by the government, Hong Kong residents would have chosen from 2 or 3 candidates endorsed by a 1,200-strong nominating committee. Then 5 million eligible voters would have had the chance to elect their next chief executive for the first time in 2017.
I think we missed our chance for universal suffrage. It's uncertain when Hong Kong people will have the rights to vote for the chief executive. It's really highly regrettable.
Well, during the colonial days in Hong Kong, we never had any democracy. Since 1997, since Hong Kong returned to its motherland, we started to have democracy.
Here outside of the Legislative Council building, supporters and opponents held competing rallies throughout the day. While over there, some supporters still refuse to leave as they say they wanted to give the biggest support to the government. And they say this is already a great chance for Hong Kong's democracy to step forward. But on the other side, as you can see, the protesters still occupy the road along with their tents. And they say voting it down today is not the end of their protest, but also a new beginning on their way to pursue democracy.
Zhu Dan, CCTV, Hong Kong.